This high-resolution photo of a recessed drawer pull has been on my phone for ages, and I have absolutely no clue where I got it from. I've searched YouTube, I've looked for posts and articles about it, I even forensically dug through my browsing history because I clearly took a photo of a screen and I looked on this exact date that the photo was taken, trying to find something. I found nothing. So I'm going to try to figure out a jig to make these bad boys, and if there's already a video out there on how to do this, sorry to that person. My video is probably going to be better. I'm just kidding. I really did try to find yours, and I'm sure that yours is better than mine. I mean, look at the channel. Let's do it. The first thing to do is figure out what size of pull I need for these sausage mitts. I want it to be about 4.5 inches wide. Should be 2 1/4 on each side. So we got the center line for both ways. And I'm just going to take this little circle template, and I want it about 3 inches down from the top. Line up those two marks. Mark this little guy. Go to this end, do the same thing. And then the center one, we can actually line up all 4 of those marks. Run those down. And now I know I just need to drill my holes right there. I am terrible at this. What's the secret? Like, where are you supposed to anchor? See? Look at that. It's all over the place. Oh, wait. There we go. I got it. So that's going to be the part that the fingers go into. That's enough room for these chunky boys. And then the bit I got for this is a 5/8 inch radius cove bit, which means this will be extended on the back side by 5/8 all the way around. Which, yeah, I think that'll work. All right, so this is where things are gonna get a little bit tricky because I've been on this lean kick lately, which means I want to build a jig that is going to be as easy to use as possible with the least amount of tool changes as possible and repeatable. In other words, I just want to build something extremely efficient. So I've been thinking about it for the last couple days, and to be honest, I still have no idea what that jig is gonna look like or how that process is going to work, which means I'm just gonna experiment. I have a couple ideas. I'm not gonna do anything scientific like time it or do a side-by-side comparison or give you some sort of hypothesis. I'm just gonna do it, and whichever one I think is the best, I'm gonna let you know. So, science. So the first thought that comes to my mind is to remove as much waste as possible with Forstner bits, because I can drill the 1 3/4 holes I need from the front, then hog out the material on the back with a 3-inch Forstner bit. I don't have one of those. Not to mention, if I went down this route, that'd be 4 tool changes. The 1 3/4 inch Forstner bit, the straight edge, the straight edge pattern bit, the 3-inch Forstner bit, and then the cove bit for the rounded part so your fingies feel nice. 4 tool changes is just too many. Ain't gonna cut it. No matter what, we're gonna need a pattern and a pattern bit to clean up these edges and give us that nice ovaltarian look that we're going for. So we need to make a pattern. Drilling out these 3 holes with a Forstner bit, cleaning it up with a jigsaw file is going to be a nightmare, not to mention inaccurate. So instead, what I'm going to do is drill only the outer 2 holes with a Forstner bit and then cut away the center section at the table saw. I'll then take those pieces that I've cut away, glue them to a backer board at the right spacing with a strip on the top and bottom before removing the waste of that backer board in the center of the oval with a pattern bit. So even as I was making this, I saw something that could be improved. There is no point in doing this backer board, really. All you need to do is take these different components, tape and CA glue them or double-sided tape them to a piece of 3/4 inch, route this out with a pattern bit, remove them, and then you'd have a solid one-piece pattern. That being said, this is still the best way I've found to make patterns like this, because even if these radiuses don't meet the flat parts at a perfect tangent, the bearing on the router bit will mask that over most of the time, which really is just nerd talk for, if you haven't already, please consider subscribing. I know that makes no sense, but it was honestly the smoothest transition I could think of when I was writing this script. So I dig it. Now that I've got a pattern made, the next thing I'm going to do is try another attempt. I'm going to first drill the main holes with a 1 3/4 inch bit. You know what? I wonder how much time drilling these holes first, hogging out the most of the waste with this, and then coming back, putting the pattern exactly over this outline and cleaning it up with a pattern bit is actually going to save me now that I have the pattern, you know? Like if I just do it with the pattern bit in the first place. So it turns out it takes me 4 minutes and 39 seconds just to mark the drill locations, hog out the material, line up the pattern again, and clean up the pull with the pattern bit. You might have also noticed that I had a new pattern. That's because I tried to beat the clock and cut corners, so I used the wrong size bit and I ended up completely screwing up my pattern. It's bad. But anyway, it takes me 1 minute and 53 seconds to just do the whole process with the pattern bit. It's a little bit messier, but it saves 2 minutes and 46 seconds, so I think we've already found an improvement to the process and eliminated a tool change. Oh, it's a good 3/8. I think that's a new record. This time, I'm routing out the pull hole with the pattern bit only, then immediately switching to the cove bit on the back, taking 2 to 3 passes to reach depth. To find final depth, I snuck up on a piece of scrap until I had what I was looking for, then routed a story chunk from the template for future reference. That worked really well. It was pretty quick. It came out silky smooth. It actually feels a lot better than I was expecting. Like, I had high hopes for this, but this, I think, has exceeded my hopes. There's completely enough room to get your fingers behind it, get some pull. I think that's gonna be really nice. But I feel like it could be just a little bit better. Removing that much material with the cove bit just feels wrong, even though I know it's right. And I feel like instead I should cut out the oval with the straight bit and then hog out the majority of the back part with the straight bit as well before switching to the cove bit to make sort of a final finishing pass and just give it that radius. So I made another pattern. This attempt, I'm going to route out the main oval on the back with a pattern bit, then flip the workpiece over and line up the second pattern. I'll use this pattern to hog out most of the waste on the back side before making a finishing pass in essence with the cove bit. Well, that was really stupid. Not only did I add an extra step, an extra pattern, and an extra tool change, but it took longer and I created 2 new chances for errors. So needless to say, the last way I did it is the way to go. With pattern in hand, I routed out the real drawer pulls on the real drawer faces and installed them. These work pretty slick. Slickly? Slick. Slickly? Slickly. Yeesh. I'll have a simple pattern and instructions on my website if you want to build a template like this for your own drawers. And I hope this little insight into how my mind works makes you feel better about your mind. It should. You probably figured out the right way to do this 2 attempts ago, and you didn't stop me while I was ahead. But thanks. Keep up the good work, and stay tuned for the next video.